Also, Bane has also the best voice line in the game, which is the Blink Dagger.
Blink Dagger? Ah!
It's all good. Now the Phoenix pick, I absolutely love the Phoenix pick because much like with Snapfire, heroes or support to channeled ultimates, they actually feel sometimes weak against Phoenix because, I mean, Snapfire has the auto counter, right? But a lot of heroes with channel ultimates, they have to decide, do I hit the egg or do I continue with my whatever it is, right? So Phoenix is a good counter initiation. And you actually see this with Snap sometimes, where Snap is throwing the globs and a smart Phoenix will supernova in the middle, and Snap is forced to stop and then continue and destroy the egg instead, which is actually kind of a loss for you many times, right? Even if you get a kill.
Yes. Obviously, the Bane is not as good as killing a Phoenix egg.
So if it's even worse, right? So it's even better.
It's even worse. But what this does actually is it forces AG to decide: do we want to take this fight or do we just sack the Fiend's Grip and back up, right?
Exactly.
Because that forces this. Because
at least the Bane most of the time. If you're sacking the Fiend's Grip, you're most likely sacking the Bane.
And that's the thing, right? For Snapfire, the choice becomes a bit more clear. We lose a bit of damage, but we destroy egg compared to this choice is still not amazing for us. So that's a really good point. It's the same thing with a Witch Doctor, right? Witch Doctor is not good against Phoenix as well for similar reasons.
Even if he has range, right?
Yeah, but you put down that death word, shoot, now I got to stop dancing and look at it go, and I have to back myself off, roll out the barrel, and get out of here.
I'm going to make you feel it in your bones.
Feel it in your bones. I love Witch Doctor so much.
The Phoenix pick now, 496 could still run him as an offlaner because he is not very strong against Axe. Usually Axe starts cutting the lane before Phoenix comes online.
Wow.
Oh, wow, the strong pick. 496 I think is even greedier whenever I've seen them draft than Motivate. Actually, it's what's lost them most of the games, being super greedy. In this world makes sense. I did say Kunkka was a consistent mid laner. The reason why he's consistent is because OD has kind of been shoved off the meta.
Yeah,
but he is a hard counter to Kunkka.
I do say I like the Outhouse Demolisher this game. He's great against the Axe. He's a good save for the Bane, or even for a Kunkka, the X mark. Great against the Tiny as well. Not to mention that it even...
And the Axe is good against anything.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I mean, I actually said Axe first at the beginning of the sentence.
Oh, I apologize.
That's
okay. I thought I heard X. My bad.
Well, he is good against the X too, but that's why I said Kunkka specifically as well. But the outsourced developer as well. He's really good for the Morana combo, right? Which can set up for a nice easy kill mid lane. It's better even than sometimes even Shadow Demon, because sometimes, even though it puts you in the correct position, depending on which way they're facing, it spits you back out in between the two illusions always, which can sometimes cause you to miss the arrow. But for this one, it's nice and consistent, and it's a fantastic save. It's even, like, there's so many uses for it this game, I gotta be honest with you. Like, if there's someone, actually none of these heroes do particularly well against the egg, but Kunkka out of these four is probably the best. If Kunkka, or maybe the Troll to be picked next, is demolishing the egg, go ahead and just, banish him for a little bit. He'll come back just in time to eat the stun, and you continue the fight from there. It's such a strong pick this game, even though the hero, not that amazing, but is one of the more better counters to Kunkka.
Indeed. And like, as you mentioned, it's the whole lineup. And then also, one of the best parts about Olfactory Developer is that he is a great hero at reducing your carry pool, right? Because a lot of carries just cannot fight you whatsoever. And the OD just completely cancels carries that don't have any sort of magic immunity or can't go for BKB early, or even carries that are just kind of slow, because OD just takes advantage of you by going into a much later stage of the game where he just punishes you.
And like you said, back to your comments at the beginning of the draft about the big five or the stable five, right? Yes, the old dude still actually does win the lane against the Kunkka. But the Kunkka is still going to get farm no matter what, because he's going to go to the jungle and get stacks. Right now, there's no one on the side of AG that needs to get those stacks, right? Axe, what he normally does is cut the wave and farms the enemy jungle pre-10 minutes, pre-15 minutes. I can't really deal with that too well here on the side of 496, so he's pretty safe to do that. So Kunkka is going to be pretty good to recover. They just need to keep that in mind for their last pick, because unless it goes terribly wrong here for the I'm thinking
Ornamental Dragon.
Yes, for the Ornamental Dragon, which is a good one. Unless it goes terribly wrong for Ornamental Dragon in the mid lane, he is going to be booting the Kunkka out around 8 minutes, relatively early on. So they need to have someone that doesn't also get booted into the jungle at that time. They need someone in the safe lane that can farm a little bit longer to allow Kunkka to get that one item. For example, this game, I'm a particularly big fan of the Halberd actually for OD, because it's going to give him a 5-second disarm.
Not a bad idea.
I
stuff
still
like
this.
I like the traditional Ags forced F
Yeah,
build.
we can talk about that. But either way, we both agree that he needs time to farm one item.
Yes,
and you can't be splitting that farm with your safe laner at this point. So
that's why I like the safe laners that Army Changes particularly is banning.
Yeah.
The Ursa and the Drow Ranger are both really good against the Axe. They're gonna go for Spectre. Okay, actually, Spectre doesn't have that bad a matchup against Axe because you can just ignore him and you can easily last hit into the tower. And Spectral Dagger is usually a really solid save, but is not as strong as Ursa Drought. You're not gonna stop Axe from farming, and that's one of the difficulties. Axe can snowball pretty hard. He's one of the best offlaners at doing that specifically. And Army Jesus has been known to just like to play the early mid game. Now what are they gonna pick against them? Terrorblade. Okay, this is probably the latest lineup I've ever seen them do. Terrorblade really, really strong against the Spectre.
Yeah.
But
my concern again is like
that other dude is gonna stop you.
Yeah,
man.
other dude is gonna come in and just kick Mamang Daya out of the lane. There's not much Mamang Daya can do. He's a strong player, Mamang Daya. I know he is. We've seen him play a lot. So is DB, but they're gonna have to be farming in the same spot here, which is not amazing, especially if the old.
Let's say the ousting drinker.
The ousting drinker can do well. I don't know how you're so good at this. What is this? What is this skill?
Just this is all I'm thinking about while I'm analyzing. But yeah, I agree. He has a lot of magical damage for the Terrorblade, who usually has struggles a bit with his intelligence gain. Also, Terrorblade, one of the weaknesses he has, people don't really notice much, is that since he's an illusion farmer, he actually usually falls back in terms of experience, which is most of the time not relevant because you just have enough items to make up for it. But when you don't go for stats items, which is not always the case for Terrorblade, you're going to be behind in your stat gain, particularly in the intelligence, which OD can definitely take advantage of and absolutely destroy you. And this is a bit of an issue because it's not just him that's bringing a lot of magical damage to the table. It's also going to be the Void Spirit. It's also going to be the Phoenix, and to some degree the Mirana. And Terrorblade's already had a difficult game, so we'll see if they can make this work.
Now your nightmare lasts forever.
Just to be clear, if I call you mate, I don't mean it literally.
Play these drafts really effectively. Let's see if they can beat 496. Because right now, both drafts are curious, and they both could take this game.
Yeah, both teams could make a pretty serious effort here, and a good play here. Good chances at winning for both teams. Again, the OD is going to be interesting. Oh, we neglected to mention this, actually, but we do have a stand-in for the side of 496 Gaming on the position 5 here, which this game is going to be the... I thought we had a stand-in. Who's got the stand-in? I thought we had Drew in the lobby.
It's 496. Yeah, it is Drew.
Yeah.
On the Spectre. You don't see?
Oh, of course. Yeah, here he is.
He even has, he still has, because people that don't know, Drew is actually from Reality Rift, or that's the last team he was playing in.
Yes.
And they actually had a Russian coach, and he still has a Russian name there, which I think is, Rus. Oh!
I think that just means Russia. Yeah, I was about to say. That just looks like Russia.
Or, yeah.
Something like that. Anyway. So he's going to be on the Spectre. So 496 without their safe laner currently, so they have a stand-in. But, I mean, Spectre, I think if you're going to have to put a stand-in on your safe laner, I think this is one of the better ones, right? Someone that is going to do just okay in the mid lane against the Axe. Someone that you have 4 other heroes that can play around without her. She can just join the team fight when it's convenient, and you win the game from there is the plan. I like it. Hung as well on the outside demon. I should have a pretty good time here. Going for the double meltdown. I gotta be honest with you, it's been a while since I've seen OD picked, though.
Yeah, no, for sure. I haven't, like, I've seen the hero, particularly when it's such an obvious game for him, right? Like when it's just, you'll pick like Timbersaw, for example, and Terrible, and he's like, all right, yeah, sure, I'll win this game for free, right? And I think this is one of the closest games I've seen where like OD's a pretty clear pick. It's such a good pick this game. So I agree with this. I mean, sometimes it actually takes an extra effort for teams to just go in a bit off meta because they're so not used to thinking about these picks, right? And I like it. The only thing is that, yes, it's a bit greedy. Your lineup is a bit greedy, but it's not like Army Genius just went not greedy, so it's fine.
Mm-hmm. We'll see here, but we'll quickly see in a few levels. We'll check back in on the mid laners. I mean, they're just gonna farm, but this is basically it, right? Hung goes, oh, Mamang Daya, you want to cleave? I don't think so. See you later. And that's basically the lane. So eventually, it's just more efficient for the Kunkka to leave and get out of there before the hammer is dropped on him. Bottom lane, though, could be first blood onto UK, as they're going to be able to utilize the one-man advantage they have down here and zone out DB for now. But he's done well not to use the Metamorphosis. There's a big wave here pushing with 2 range creeps, so I imagine he'll use this pretty soon here to just secure most of it, now that he's seen the other TP, the other support, rather, TP away.
Yep.
Very
I want to point out, by the way, that in this game, or in case you want to notice, Drew has always said a standing in, but it's that BB who's usually the carry for this team playing as the offlaner. But it is
that's
true
why
that
I'm confused.
yeah, it is true that the old team that he used to play in, a Vietnamese team called Next Generation, that BB did used to play as the offlaner there, and we have seen him even with this team actually play the Pango offlane in one particular game. Where,
That's true.
Yeah, he played
Yeah.
Pango offlane, and Red, which is the usual offlaner, played the carry. So he's not like he is. But is a stranger to this offlane. They have danced a couple times, they know each other, but they want to get more acquainted now.
Yep. Top lane here, we'll see. Axe taking level 1, Battle Hunger, which I think is fine. Just trying to harass. Now has the second point, should be into the counter helix as the first bracer will be delivered here. Support's doing a good job as Lim is going to be stealing the creep wave over Eden. Eden plenty of damage out from Bombi, who actually already has boots. By the way, brown boots on the Phoenix. This game, I think, very necessary against the brown boots Tiny, against the Axe. It makes a lot of sense. You don't want to get ran down or just ran at by Axe, especially when you're battle hungered. So it's a smart decision as I'm going to miss the kill down bottom. Dat BB strikes onto UK.
I think DB is struggling a bit in this bottom lane, honestly, and considering...
Lim?
Oh, wait, top lane.
He's okay,
Lim's
actually.
about to die.
Yeah, he dodged. Oh, they
It's
actually got
level
that Fire
1
Spirit.
Fire Spirit stuff. This ability becomes so much stronger once you hit level 2, more than doubles the damage, right? So you really are looking for that level 3 for Phoenix. That's when you really hit your peak. But down bottom, I mean, they're not stopping the Terrorblade's farm, but they are getting kills with support, so it's still kind of a win. Bane, unfortunately, is good at trading, but not really good at stopping aggression or really anything else. He's kind of... That's it. He really just trades well, thanks to Bane set.
Yep. As they're getting good damage. DB has yet to use the meta, however. He's holding on to it. Just instead choosing to just conjure a few images instead. As top Bombi nearly dies here to the Avatos combo, but he's going to be okay. He's got a healing salve good to go. Only Battle Hunger level 1, so he's still fine.
I wonder what build this Axe going to go for, because it's very popular actually in NA right now. Oh, well, me. Talk about the Axe though, he's getting burned alive. Oh no, that's not his red skin, it's the flames surrounding him as they envelop him and send him to the grave. It's going to be the first, another kill here in the top lane.
Yep.
For Nexus.
Hung still actually getting cleaved pretty consistently here by Mamong Daya, so well played to Mamong Daya, at least there on that regard. And they took the level 2 Tidebringer, it does become a little bit easier for him. But it's still, eventually, we're going to see this slip out of control here for the Kunkka.
What I'm wondering what build Axe is going to be going for, because as I was mentioning before, I was brutally interrupted by this gank. Was that the Axes in North America, particularly, a lot of them, Brax, if you actually notice him, and even Casual, we've seen go for the Veil of Discord build, where instead of going for like a blink super early, you go Veil of Discord, you run people down with Battle Hunger. It's quite effective, less snowbally, but much more consistent, and you still go for the traditional build right after that. Like, there's nothing special about it, just early Veil and potentially an Axe a bit later into the game. And we'll see if Womi copies that region, or if instead we'll see Womi going for the old Axe build of maybe rushing Vanguard and then into the Blink Dagger.
Yep. I think Bane got a bit caught up there, just right-clicking Dat BB, so he's going to be a little bit late to the party of runes. It's not going to matter, though, as Lim is able to recover and snag that illusion rune top lane. So neither mid laner are going to be able to refill a bottle, which is fine. OD didn't have one. Kunkka does have one, but it's just freshly delivered. Again, he is still falling pretty far behind. He's down 6 CS here already in the mid lane. Again, not too surprising. Just that's how the matchup goes here for him.
As indeed. Hung. I mean, he's doing what he should do in this mid lane. I think Mamandaya is actually doing pretty well for himself.
Yeah.
Luckily, this Kunkka is Radiant, so you actually have a much better camp near you, which is the medium camp as opposed to the small camp that Dara gets. And Kunkka can also stack it if he wants to. I'm surprised he hasn't tried it at all, Mamandaya.
Yeah,
because
with
you
the
can
Torrent.
stack that camp with Torrent.
You can stack almost every camp with Torrent. It's kind of ridiculous.
No, I know. I'm just saying that, like, particularly you can stack that camp without moving from the mid lane with Torrent. Right? Which is very important.
Dota exists in the Z dimension, right? So when you're lifted up by Torrent, you actually are lifted out of the spawn boxes.
Yes.
At least if you're a creep, so that's what allows that to happen. Lim might be dead. He's got the TP away, so he should be fine. And they will actually scout a stack here in the triangle going for Kunkka. They do well to actually see if they can get rid of that. Among dies, and X Mark and TAB back home. As Womi's cutting the wave now. Double Bracer leaves him with 1100 HP, so he's pretty strong here.
I mean, honestly, Daya shouldn't be too unhappy with this early game. And it's not like the OD is super farm right now. I wonder what the build's gonna be for Hung Hung. I think rushing Axe this game seems like quite a smart choice considering how useful that Astral Imprisonment is.
What is it? I've seen like Blink Ags sometimes as well.
Yeah, but you still go Ags first because Ags is also a farming item for OD, right? So it replaces the old Midas that some ODs used to build if they were being greedy. Like, you just want to farm an OD a bit as well. So the Ags really helps you with that. And on top of that, it's super useful for team fights. It deals a fair amount of damage if you're maxing the Astral, so I think it's good.
You know, I gotta be honest with you, we've not seen a lot of action here this game. There's not as much as I was expecting, given the supports that are on the playing field here.
Given that we're casting SCA? Yes, I agree.
Yeah. Well, a bit surprised here. There's the 6-minute rune. But 3 kills, you know, we're still averaging half a minute, which is half more than league. You know, you gotta get the joke in, of course. You gotta get the joke in. But
I don't know if you're joking. I'm just being a smug elitist.
Yeah, of course.
That's why I play Dota, friend.
But
I mean, we're gonna go see Drew going for the Blade Mail, which pretty good this game to up your tempo a bit and take more advantage of the fact that the enemy team also has a Terra Blade. While me is forced to TP. They've been dealing with the Axe quite nicely. For having a support that's not the best against Axe, they're doing a respectable job up top.
I like this decision by Drew, by the way. Like you were saying, not only for the Blade Mail, but he's put a single point in the Desolate, which makes it a lot harder for Axe to just do Axe things, right? He's not really going to want to be tanking the whole wave and Spectre without at least his friendly wave there.
Bottom, play with the arrow. Nice little setup with the Astral Imprisonment, and DB dies. This is another great way of using the Mirana, right? You don't have the Bane? No problem. I got an OD, which does the exact same thing.
Yep.
It's a bit harder to calculate, but if you're a pro player, that doesn't really mean anything.
Bombi's trying to steal stacks here. He's got the Icarus dive. There is a call at the ready for him, however, so he's not going to want to be called into that. That's a big old stack that will spit him down.
He does steal experience, though, which is not bad.
Yep.
Yeah, actually, I think, yeah, Bombi pinged it because he realized once he got the extra level that Axe was clearly taking stacks. And
Arrow? Oh.
No,
good dodge. A bit off on the timing, though. Sunray from behind. DB finally rotated and will use the Metamorphosis. He's got a point in Sunder already here, so he is ready to fight as Hung Hung will be killed. Drew as well is going to show up here now with Haunt at level 7. Has the Blade Mail coming on the way to the Courier, but doesn't actually have it completed, however. So not a whole lot she's actually bringing to the fight, especially against DB right now with level 3 only Metamorphosis. Very strange how we saw those two heroes actually decide to show up to fight this early on, Avo.
I gotta say that wasn't. It seemed a bit too reactionary in my opinion from 496. Because if they are planning to fight that with the Spectre already, then you should definitely be using the OD's ultimate first, right? With the Sanity Eclipse before you got stunned by the Ghost Ship. Because afterwards it was impossible to use. LAM will die alone to that PvE. Well played. But it was weird because it seemed like they kind of decided to fight that halfway through, which is never a good idea. You either full commit, or you half commit, or sorry, you full commit to going in, or you full commit to going out. They're not half committing to anything. And they're even trying to find DB right now. Clearly they're strong, right? So they should have just played that a bit.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. I mean, it was just insane. That was a Haunt. That was a Metamorphosis showing up with Sunder available. The skill point's already committed. It's not like he just had it saved. A Haunt in, just the whole thing here. Before I hadn't even switched over to network, you know, so it's crazy. It was just early is all. I was surprised by. They will rotate supports, or rather cores will swap positions. Drew will head bottom as he's found himself an Iron Talent, so he'll be calling that one over. That'll accelerate his farm a little bit more. Seems like we're in for a real barn burner here, though. Just taking a look at the item builds, it will be the OD Ag, so we'll have to wait a little bit of time. We'll have to wait a little bit for him to be in tip-top shape, but the same goes here for the OD. Make that Mamang Daya. He's done incredibly well, though. I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised to see him top of the leaderboard here. He's not taking a death. In fact, he does have an assist, so he's even doing better than I thought he would do. So well played him. This is not easy to do against an OD.
No, Jokab actually taking the Battle Hunger off with the Sentry. nice little play there. And they're forcing the enemy team out here. Hung Hung. And they're trying to set up here with the Astral. He's going to be going for the Axe Rush, which I love. Drew also playing aggressively, now completely invading the enemy jungle, forcing the Terra Blade out of this, while the Bane stays in the dead lane, playing with his cheeses.
Yep.
Playing with Bane.
The age is
nice evasion. He taunts him as he avoids the arrow. Mamang Daya, though, Astro Imprisonment to make sure he can't get away. Hung still want to fight this there. He commits the ultimate, but not before. And now he doesn't have the Astro. In fact, Axe joins in with the Ghost Ship. Hung will die. In exchange, ZappyB will at least kill UK, but that's not enough. Well, me still trying to get this kill. ZappyB has no more Astral Steps. They're looking for the Berserker's Call. Nice Torrent with Berserker's Call. Avoid the arrow. LYM is joining. ZappyB does have the Astral Step right now, but he doesn't want to use it just yet. There we go. Trying to get the max distance, but the toss sets up for a Tidebringer kill as they kill him Executioner style here. Well played, 496.
Yeah, good job. In the meantime,
Sorry, well played, Army Genesis.
In the meantime, AG will continue pushing top lane as well. Metamorphosis utilized here. Level 3 meta still only. Preferring to match the Conjure Image first. He might even get a free kill onto Bobby here, who has the Icarus dive. Will commit the Supernova. Spectral Haunt in. Drew's looking to fight again. Blade Mail is actually on the way this time in the Courier. They're just going to be able to force him out, I guess. There's a zoning Supernova and a zoning Haunt. They're actually going to re-engage, I think, Avo. Axe is thinking about it, but it's a bit too difficult without the Blink Dagger. He's close, though. 700 gold away is bottom. UK, rather, getting ran down again by that BB. But the nice Ava toss should save his life and even net them a D ward here. I do love how they've put the TI All-Star game cheese into the game, though. That's pretty cool.
Oh, what? Into the Bane?
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
What I don't understand is why is Bane the guy who, like, it just seems like any
think
weird
it's-
ideas they have, they just put it on Bane. Like, why is he eating cheese, dude?
I-
What part of his lore says Bane is a cheese addict? Or,
I think he's a fromagier, actually.
I mean,
think.
he's not even like eating it, right? He's just like throwing it
No,
around like
I,
a weird.
I think it's like in one of his lores or something like that. I don't know. They're gonna smoke up here, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like if you check one of the items or something, it's like Bane just loves cheese, dude. It's just part of what he does. Nice
Very
Fiend's
good
Grip
combo.
as well. A good combo indeed. Torrent into Bone into Avo. Jokum's actually gonna be able to outrun the Tiny at the very least.
Come on, as Tiny, when you need like 1 or 2 extra auto attacks, is never going to work.
No.
Like that's not how your hero works. So please don't chase when you're like, oh, I'm gonna punch him twice. It's quick. It's quick. I swear.
It's better now though than it will be after he takes the first point in growth, but it still doesn't
still.
compare to any other hero, right?
Because you still don't get agility, right? So even if you
Yeah,
don't reduce the
yeah.
attack speed, you still have 0 agility.
That's
Which
right.
means you also have 0 armor before grow, which
That's-
makes you super vulnerable to being counter ganked. Like that play is never correct. I'm sorry, unless he's like literally 1 hit away.
I mean,
which
honestly, he was
rarely
so
is the
deep
case.
already. I think it's fine. I think it's fun that they go for the kill and whatever. He dies. He's a Tiny. He's not upset with that.
I guess that's fine. Yeah, I guess you're right. Army Genius is playing this early pretty well. I think Mamandaya is having more impact than the OD. One of the advantages, of course, of the Kunkka versus OD, which is that, yeah, OD wins the lane, but Kunkka still is more impactful early because you need at least your 1 core item, which tends to be quite expensive, as we see here at the Axe. OD is not farming too badly, but you're an OD. You farm super slow. Well, me, bottom lane. They catch Bombi, Torrent, and this sets up for the kill. He did have Supernova, but not enough time to use it. Dabby B
toss
tossed
back.
back. They have Berserker's Call. They don't, so they can't set up just yet for this kill. And Dabby B, he still has 1 more Astral Step, so I don't think he's going to die, but it's a Blink Dagger on Axe. With the Berserker's Call, they catch him before the Aetherman actually hits. With a Nightmare to set up for the second stun, what do they have?
Ava.
Avatos. Okay, let's go for a ride. Up in the air, dunk down. And they even get a counter kill mid lane against
Wow.
Hung.
Another boat.
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Check
But I
here.
feel like this is a mistake by Hung,
Yeah.
though, because, yeah, he was with another boat. If you keep getting killed by the Kunkka, what's your Astral Imprisonment for, right? Like, why are you not saving it to play a bit more defensively, honestly?
Yeah, I think that time it was X-Mark into Boat and then Torrent, so it looks like that was the combo they ended up utilizing to end the life there of Hung. But actually, you know, Dota's a game of exceptions, but this should not be happening, right? The Kunkka should not be doing this well against the OD, which means that, hey, Mamandaya is really outplaying him at this point in the game. Already actually going for the Heaven's Halberd, so I like that
He
build.
has it. Yeah. He has it, like, that's ridiculous. Not just
Yeah,
going for it.
yeah.
He's built it completely. It's ridiculous.
But by the way,
I
the
wanna point
item...
out-
Oh, go ahead.
I just want to point out that, oh, wait, sorry, UK.
Oh, big call.
The counter initiate, brain sap to give UK some more health. Even has the fairy fire, they commit the supernova there to fight. Well, me, slow down, he can't destroy the egg. And LYM also trying. They managed to just barely towards the end, but me might die to assimilate. Dabby B, nice burst damage. As here comes the Ghost Ship, bringing down the Spectre, but they
Whoops.
missed the combo?
Okay.
Okay. Was Mamang stunned? Okay, that was a bit of a weird initiation. Doesn't matter. SeekNStrike catches Drew. They cancel with a Yule Scepter. They're still going for Dappy B, trying to find whatever they can. X marks the spot for Drew with a Torrent, setting it up. This time, he's also going to miss. But they take the Bounty Rune, at least. Bottles it. I don't know, Malang died. Yeah, that wasn't the best initiation. Maybe he might die to that BB. Seems like it's going to be okay for now. Astral Step, continuing this aggression. Spectral Dagger as well. Phoenix joining in. Oh, the arrow. Perfectly done with Sunray now. Actually chunking poor Malang Daya. Another Ether Remnant, and Malang Daya is going to end up dying. Despite his Heaven's Halberd, it's just not enough. LYM, he sees a kill here on Joka, but instead he messes up with a Nightmare. They have to cancel it. And they do get an Avalanche, but no toss, which means lacking damage. Jokam's still in trouble. There's the Aether Remnant stopping the Axe initiation with an arrow to boot. And Dappy B slowing them down thanks to that Astral Step mark. They're going to settle for Bombi instead.
No, he's not going to get dunked. He will be slam dunked by the creep there as Lim will go ahead and yeet one onto him for the kill. Long fight. We started that one off with the Supernova. Really the call into the Supernova. But unfortunately, just not enough follow-up immediately after the Supernova. And even with the Fire Spirits on both Tiny and X, two people not really renowned for their attack speed, they're still able to dispatch of it after the Fire Spirits attack slow ends. Just a bit too much there on those two heroes alone. Supernova level 1, you actually are able to... I think almost every hero that doesn't have a Dispel will end up not being able to destroy the egg, assuming that you do get the Fire Spirit on them. I think there's the exception of... Oh, I don't remember. Windrunner with the ulti and a few other heroes with Dispels. But against two heroes, you don't really have a chance with level 1 Supernova. Even though they did buff it, quote-unquote, recently. It used to be like 5, 9, 12 or something, and they reduced it to be a little bit stronger earlier. So... yeah, I think it was like 5, 7, 12 or something like that on hits. I don't remember exactly, but either way, it was a good effort. But you know, two heroes on the egg, they're gonna beat that every day.
Yep. So yeah, the point I was gonna mention earlier was just that the OD until now, when the Kunkka has killed him, they've caught him 3 times with Astral Imprisonment on cooldown. In fact, they're gonna catch him again with Astral Imprisonment on cooldown. Like this keeps happening.
He's got Axe on the way too. Oh, they missed.
Oof, that was a good TP. But this keeps happening, though. He keeps putting himself in really dangerous positions just to farm a bit more, and I don't know how worth it this is, really. I think maybe 496 should be giving a lot more safe farm to Hung in the beginning until he gets his Ags, and now that he's finally got his Ags, he can go for a bit unsafer farm. Okay, he's doing it again, but this time he just got the Ags. He's going to still be cursed by the Ghost Shield and the Fiend Script. But the counter initiations here, though. Stopping the Bane. He has Supernova available as well. They use the Hunt, and the Bane's the first to die. OD still strong. Destroys Malang Daya. Now going for Womi. Dappy B misses the Aether Remnant. Doesn't matter. Womi should still die here as the Yule Scepter sets up for his kill. Well played. And now the Supernova in the backlines to make sure that nobody can keep fighting this. They use the Astral Imprisonment. Will stop the stun from happening, but it doesn't really matter as DB can't destroy the eggs, and that's a win as far as Forest is concerned. Full team wipe for them. Pretty casual team wipe, honestly.
Yeah, DB kind of just rolls up at the end like, what's up, guys? I'm a Terrorblade. I'm Metamorphosis. Be scared of me. And they go, absolutely not. You're the only one alive. And he does literally 0 damage there in that fight. I think he had the egg maybe once, had an arrow come his way, had just way too much lockdown for him to be playing that aggressive. So questionable play right there, I got to be honest, out from DB. But at the end of the day, 496 definitely using that Aghanim Scepter to great avail here. And that's what I was talking about during the draft. Like, this item combo is so nicely with pretty much everyone here on the side of 496. It's so good. I think that's a really big power spike here for the entirety, for the entire side, rather, of 496. As Drew, the stand-in now here, from formerly of RR, that is, with the double damage here into the pit. Axe is slowly getting melted by that, but he will eventually be brought back by the X mark. Just delaying Roche here, though, Avo. They might be able to actually fight this one. We don't have meta, though, is the problem. Do they go for it? Womi is going to jump in here again with another call, slowing down Roche, dragging him outside of the pit, as well as Drew, actually. He still has the phase movement here from the Spectral Dagger, but he chooses to take the scenic route rather than just walk all the way in. Torrent will connect you. We need someone here to snatch that Aegis, though, but it's going to be Drew. He still is able to find it after the Astral Imprisonment here onto Kunkka. He's in a bad spot. Does at least get the disarm onto OD and the Nightmare, actually. OD just going to sit through this one, however, as Tiny now rotating over in. Gets the Avatar. Malang Daya super tanky, but not going to be tanky enough, as they will at least be able to get the kill onto the Marana using the Toss Atma combo. There's the follow-up kill then onto Tiny. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you're gonna go in, you have to go in with the Axe, not with Kunkka. but this is a good effort.
Yeah, this is the OD now starting to come online, right? As soon as we started, he got the double ask for imprisonment. He could waste the one, you know, always, and then proceed to use the second one to save his teammates or set up for a kill. DB, I don't think they kill him, right? I mean, they're really deep into the enemy triangle. This is a really weird play. Daddy B, saved by Bombi. They use the Fiend Script regardless. They can't cancel this Fiend Script, so they're like, all right, you're on your own, buddy. Bombi. He's tired of playing support, and this is what happens, you know? You leave your core, and you die for it. Oh, he denies the rune, though, before he dies.
Out of spite.
Out of spite. This Void Spirit and you guys, you all should die.
Yeah. But that's now going to be an Aegis on a Spectre, so that gives her more teamfight presence here. Now has the Haunt available. I think this one's going to be more of a farming Radiance. Not Radiance, sorry. What's that? I don't even know. No one even builds that thing. A farming Aegis is what I meant to say, as we'll see here next go for the Eye of Scotty. So just going for stats. The healing slow as well. What's that interaction with the Rum buff, though? Because Rum is not a heal.
What is the interaction with what?
Eye of Scotty.
No, it doesn't do anything.
Okay, that's what I thought.
There's no interaction because it just stops healing. The run buff is
for damage. That's right.
Yeah. So it's like it works. I mean, it doesn't actually work like that, but it's similar to like actually similar to the center axe. It's the same thing.
Gotcha.
So Scotty doesn't help against that, but Scotty will help against the Phoenix Sunray. So that's pretty good.
Okay. Well, we have the Manta now for TB in addition to the Dragonlance. Nothing new yet on Mamang Dai, unfortunately. Not since the Axe has come up here for OD, as they will be looking for a kill, it looks like. Nice Nightmare, though, buying them a bit of time. Toggled on over, actually, to that BB. UK getting ran down here by the Sunray. Yule septed up by Jokum. He's for the arrow setup, and to get stuck to the ground there. Just shooting that man. Bane's got a big old belly, you know. Especially in China. I think on the Chinese client, his belly's huge. I think on this one, it's like kind of scary looking because he's like Ghost Man or something. But on China, they just made him fat.
Who?
Bane.
Bane?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he's eating all this cheese, so it kind of makes sense,
I guess
right?
that's why.
His arteries must be bloated. This man must be having 5 heart attacks a day.
That's true.
That's why his stats are all even, right?
Oh,
He can't get extra strength.
Yeah. They're going to set up here nicely onto Axe, the Haunted by Drew, and yeah, everyone else is going to back off but Drew. He's looking to catch the stragglers. Axe buys a little bit of time there with the Yule Scepter that he has, but Lim unable to get the blink out. Good disarm here onto the Spectre. You cannot Manta that one off. True, but it's okay.
Oh, what a Remnant.
More bodies as the Remnant will catch Mamang Dai. He's going to give himself the Rum buff as
Hung
Hung just wants to get caught by the boat, I guess. There's going to be Supernova on top, but nothing to actually stop him. I think we needed that second astral imprisonment there on Hung. I don't know why he decided to run the boat.
He positioned himself like right in the middle. Like, this is perfect. This is where I'm going to get stunned. I'm getting cozy. He did like little wiggle that heroes do when they get into the right position as well.
That was
like when you get into bed and your sheets just feel just right.
That was I was gonna compare it to, you know, like the Roadrunner. You know, there's a shadow underneath. You know, it's like, oh, very nice. You know, I guess the Coyote, right? The Roadrunner drops the Acme anvil, and you see the shadow, and the Roadrunner's like, ah, or the Coyote's, yes, very nice. I want to sit exactly in this spot, only for the anvil to then crush him.
It was an odd play by Hong Kong. I don't know why. I don't know. He has never seen the sea yet. He wants to go to the beach, and this is the closest thing.
I guess he does. This.
Anyway, it's not that big a deal because they still do really well, and they still have like. Usually against a Terrorblade, I wouldn't say that the late game is ever secure, but you do have 2 carries this game. 2. Armor Genius is 1, especially with the build that Kunkka went for. He's more of a utility Kunkka this game rather than like a carry-ish Kunkka. Whereas 4 and 6 have 2 really big sources of damage, especially the OD, which against a Terrorblade absolutely destroys it.
Dire are scanning.
Step lively now. Your admiral is on board.
We're gonna in the bottom lane, Davy B could be in trouble. LYM. Here is the Dissimulate.
Yeah, they're chasing him. He's gonna be fine though. Can't catch him there. Blink Dagger off cooldowns already. What's Axe building here? He's gone for the Yules right after, which I think is a great item here. It's more effective lockdown here against the OD until he does get the Aghanim Scepter, which he's only 900 gold away from though. So that's gonna be, I think, the next big spike here for our side of 496. Ghost Scepter going for E-Blade on Phoenix. All right, I like it. That's an effective disarm as well here for the TB. Plenty of magic damage to burst through him too, not to mention. as well as a plethora of Yule Scepters currently up on 496, just to be canceling Fiend's Grips here, canceling the Axe. It's a great Yule's game for the same reason why the OD Axe is really good.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah,
is under
it's
attack.
essentially the same thing, really, except ODX. Oh, wait, zombie. That one's tossed. Alright. Yeah, essentially the same thing, those Yules and the Ags. The ODX deals a bit of damage, Yules carry Dispel with them, both of which are quite nice here.
Yep.
We're actually going to see a Scotty complete on Drew relatively quick, which is nice. On the Spectre, usually you don't see Scotty this early. It's more like a 4th, 5th item, especially, I mean, 3rd if you don't have Blade Mail, right?
Yeah.
Because Blade Mail doesn't really count as an item. Usually you see maybe the Fusel Blade if you want to play a bit faster.
I don't know. I would argue that Blade Mail counts. I think it's more the normal item. I get what you're saying because normally the classic
No, 'cause
first
it's so
item.
cheap. Is the only thing I'm saying. It's just
Yeah,
so cheap.
but
it's like
that's-
getting drums. Like, do you count drums as the first item?
Yeah, I would call it.
It's
on
more
a Spectre,
transitional.
On a
but sure.
Spectre, where the traditional item is that big beefy Radiance.
Yeah, but it's been a while since we've seen that.
Well,
though,
that's what I'm saying, though. That's why I think it's safe to call it the first item now.
Sure. Anyway, the point is the Spectre going for Scotty this early, not very common, but usually Diffusal Blade against the Terror Blade, since it's physical damage, kind of useless. So you just want to try to itemize a bit more to beat him as soon as possible. And the Scotty will stop the Thunder from healing it as much. It does actually reduce that a bit. And then you get Basher. So it's great for man fighting Terror Blade, especially when he's in range form, where Scotty will take away 50 of his attack speed, which is kind of ridiculous. So very, very useful then. It's probably the best way to deal with Terror Blade. Even then, Spectre suffers against them, but you have a lot of help from your team.
We do have the Ags now as well on that BB, so we're going to have 2 charges as well as the Silence, as he will be leading the spearhead here of the Smoke. Smoke on top of the Moonlight Shadow is Lim. There's going to be the Silence onto 3, the Dust to follow up, but no counter initiation is Lim. We're going to be Astral Imprisonment. Hung Hung goes for the second one here, so up to 6, now 7 charges here. Watch out, Lim, but Hung Hung getting chunked alive here by DB, who's not going to pop the BKB as well as the Metamorphosis. This Egg is going to do a good job to distract him for a while. As Romy looking for the call, is not going to find anyone there except for Drew, who's now getting a chunk to do, and there's going to be now the Sunder onto Drew, who's so low on HP, but just manages to run away. Actually, great stun coming out from, I'm not sure who that was, actually stunning onto the T-Bleed, but the fight will continue as Bombi will now buy back into this fight. Hung Hung still alive, does have that battle hunger applied to him, and there's the dunk out from Womi as they will be able to catch him, but the TB has died. Mamang Daya, and he looks like he will be punished as well. Okay, good fight. What the heck stunned that TB? Was that an arrow?
Yeah, the arrow.
Wow, what an arrow.
That's very good arrow. They used the Chaos as diversion to get the kill. Very smart. And the TB really couldn't do much there, honestly. I mean, OD kind of sacked himself for that play, but it worked because they gave Drew the kill, which is what matters after all. And this is a lot of free farm for Drew that TB is going to fall behind in. And since the OD is already beating the Kunkka a fair amount, it's not too bad for them. Oh, careful, Dabby B. He does have an axe, but they hit it immediately. Berserker's Call. Good combo with that toss. Nice arrow, though, stopping the pain. There's no Fiend's Grip available because of this. That arrow actually saved Dabby B and killed UK.
Wow.
Wow, that was a great arrow there by Jokam. Right as the Bane was trying to go to the high ground to see if there were any more enemies, he got surprised on the stairs. So very well played with that vision game.
Drew as well now with that Scotty, keeping him alive in that fight despite being sundered down to probably about 25% HP. Put him in a little bit of a scary position, but Spectre, being a ghost, obviously is immune to being feared. It's just completely ineffective again. Oh, that's not true, actually, because fear is a status effect in this game. Anyway, the joke is ruined, but nice job there by Drew, standing his ground and fighting, got out when he needed to, reinitiates when he can, and that just turns into a really, really great fight for them. DD Rune now picked up, as it's going to be the Abyssal Blade next item for our Drew Spectre, the stand-in. Dat BB, normally the core here for 496, is doing pretty nicely as well. It's a good adjustment. I know you said he did play offlaner before, and it definitely shows, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Like, he knows how to play that sacrificial core much more. And in fact, if you watch that BB play carry, sometimes it actually reminds me of Chalice a lot, because Chalice also used to play off and move to the carry position. Right? He plays a bit more just crazy, he doesn't have a regard for his own life. He's very much like an offlaner, The first thing that when you play offlane, the first thing they teach you is, your life is worthless. You're like, okay, your life is worthless, right? And you just repeat that to yourself. And that BB kind of plays that way in his carry role as well, which gives him a lot of interesting plays. I think that gives the team a really interesting dynamic, but in this case it's working off with a Void Spirit.
We're going to have Guardian Greaves as well for our Marana. Lots of great defensive items right now. It's just such a good Yule Scepter game for really everyone. I think we might see like upwards of 4 Yules this game. In fact, we might already have that many. Just 3. 3 for now. Nope. Yeah, just 3. BKB for Hung Hung. BKB as well for DB. I wonder what else we're waiting for. As I think Hung Hung has caught a hero here, I believe. Yep, it's Lim. Where are you going, buddy? He's going to hit him with a second one. Unfortunately, his Kunkka is going to TP out. He's going to get an avalanche off at the very least, but will be just absolutely chunked through.
Oh, bottom lane though. They do catch Drew. Nice bash from Sam for a second. He has
He's got a Haunt and a TP and a team, actually.
And he's fine.
Yeah, no. In fact, 496 are going to counter initiate here.
Yes, can they go on the Terra play? They don't catch him. They can't stop his
the
DP.
Yules.
Oh, that was unfortunate. They nightmared the Mirana.
Yeah, but after she could have Yulesed him, I'm sorry. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that was about there. Unfortunately.
Then they nightmare her at the beginning. That's why she couldn't use. No.
No, it looked like she was winding up an arrow. That's what I saw, at least on my screen.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Well, either way.
Not gonna say otherwise. So. Yeah.
I mean, they have other Yules on the team. I don't know. Just I don't know how he TP's out there. So lucky, I guess. We'll call it luck. Either way, AG they're gonna come out relatively okay out of that team fight. Only losing this or out of those two pickoffs. They're gonna lose their two supports, but that means they can't really contest this Roche now with the Basher on top of the Spectre. She's not going over to Bane, unfortunately, but instead over to DB. What does Spectre have? Titan Sliver. Okay. No one's actually holding on to the Paladin Sword, which, whenever I drop that one, or whenever I find that one as a support, everyone's always give that one to me immediately. So I'm surprised to see that no one really wants it this game. What's OD hanging on to? Mindbreaker's pretty darn good. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, alrighty then. Womi is going to have a BKB quite soon, which is going to do excellent here, as he has the only BKB piercing lockdown of his team, besides the Fiend's Grip, but Fiend's Grip I think is a bit too unreliable for them this game, whereas the Axe Call can be used a bit more effectively. So that will be nice to lock down the OD, lock down the Spectre. Of course, more relevant to the OD with his BKB still now 9 seconds long.
Mamang Daya going in with a little bit of an X-Tricks, but careful because OD can cancel this, right? So it's a very dangerous play. In fact, they catch the Tiny instead. Easy kill for them as they proceed to push this tower safely. Terrorblade is trying to invade the enemy jungle to try to create some space for himself and farm.
He's getting
It's kind of working out for him, but they are losing the towers regardless. And now Bombi will find them. They have any way of canceling this DP? You do not. Void Spirit's running in. Nice Yule Scepter. And this is really bad. And they catch DP.
Yeah, he's dead.
That's your carry gone.
That's
not good for RBG.
He might get a BK. Oh, no, he will not. Never mind.
There was no need for that.
Hung Hung's going to make sure. Nope, deleted.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, what else do you want that for, right? It's just for killing Terrorblade. If Terrorblade's already dead, you might as well put it on gold.
And just pickoffs across the map here currently is what's been happening for 496. We get one on the Tiny top, we get one onto the Bane bottom, we find Tiny again at the tier 2, and then we go back to TB in our jungle. It's a good read on the map from 496, though, because they have wards watching the entrances to the triangle camps, which is going to be the most important area for them to be farming. They know that they're not in the jungle, and there's only a few other places they could be, so Bombi goes on hunting. He finds exactly what he's looking for, the preemptive TP as well, because that's a 6-second TP there to the outpost, so that you're going to be able to TP home very, very easily, faster than you can TP to an outpost. I think it's a 3-second advantage. So nice job preempting that one there, because he barely just caught that TB.
Well, try to take the tower here, and you are going to continue to be pushing to that tier 3, perhaps. I mean, you've already taken the tier 2. You've completely dominated over the enemy jungle. Terrorblade has no place to farm. Maybe you just wait for the Roshan, honestly, to try to go high. Oh, sorry, you already have it. So
yeah, I was about to say. I thought they just took it. There's still 2 minutes left on this Aegis, so they're going to be feeling really confident. Wami, though, with the BKB. It's a bit tough here. How do you get through the first life of the Spectre? Now, especially with the Abyssal. Very tanky last here, as she will be able to just about man-fight anyone here toe-to-toe. They have Vision, though, on the high ground. Just making sure Lim's Blink Daggers on the being cancelled or on cooldown.
20k lead for 496 still, with choking the enemy team at base. Terrorblade unable to leave. It's a difficult game.
Yeah, Dota Plus here, our Magic 8 Ball predicts a 3% chance here for AG. Well, I got to do it because of in the AG signal game, right? That's why I didn't. I'm only using it for AG and Signal, I believe. Because they have caught one, I believe. The axe call? No, they actually miss.
Nice picture there. So you couldn't get X back.
No,
Now they use Haunt. They counter initiate. Let's see if they try.
who are they going for, though? Who's the target? Oh, there's the target. Kunkka.
Yeah, hex them up. Needs to kill the Kunkka. And make ham out of Mangdaya. And they go in further, hoping for the axe. Kunkka buys back immediately. Does the supernova as well. Ghost Spear on the Terrorblade. Oh, the E-Blade, sorry. It's actually crushing him. DP is going to have to come back in.
Oh,
But
no.
he gets stunted instead. The Nightmare to save him. BKB, Sunder, and he gets away. Dabby B is forced out instead. As the ODS Berserker's called, they hit him with a Ghost Ship. No, barely missing Hung Hung, but DB is a bit too strong right now. Drew is concentrating instead of Mamangdaya, but DB keeps hitting Hung Hung and destroying him. Hung Hung can just not survive. Yeah, they kill the Tiny in response, but they've already lost their mid laner, and DB continues to pummel the whole team, sending out his Orbs of Death, destroying Jokam in the process. Goodbye to the Mirana, as the last hit will condemn her. And it's only a Spectre left behind, but they've ignored her the whole time. She has the Aegis anyway. And, well, DB's dying to the Sunray for now. And Drew will try to use this to his advantage, hoping to kill DB, but he's up against 5. It's a bit difficult to survive this. I mean, I know he has Aegis, but can they come fast enough? They use the Sunder, they waited for that, which means Drew cannot survive. That's only his first life. That BB will come back in yet again. Let's see with Aether Remnant.
Big
Try
silence.
to go for the
Big
axe.
silence.
And they silence him, not bad. He has Sunder in 25 seconds again. Berserker's Call misses again. Drew, Avalanche Toss, Torrent, keep him controlled. Drew in trouble. Drew uses the Abyssal Blade just to get closer to the Terrorblade. And with the Sunray, finally they're actually dealing some damage to DB. They get the kill off, but the Ghost Ship stops Drew in his footsteps. He can no longer fight. As they toss him back to the fountain, the Terrorblade is also bought back in this case, but Mamangdaya will fall, so will LYM. And it's going to be difficult now for AG to continue this. They've lost most of their team, but 496 is done. They've also committed their buybacks. They're going to buy back. Sorry, they're going to TP back with the Spectre and get away from this fight, as Jokam will be the last remaining victim for AG.
Yeah, I think that was just a bit unfortunate there for 496. Maybe they're not on the same page. Well played by AG, who to do the right thing. They just kind of try and ignore the Spectre as much as they can. They recognize that for now the OD is a much bigger problem, at least immediately. So they try and focus everything they can. Bane with a huge play there, absolutely huge. UK, he wraps around here. His positioning was here. They were not expecting that because they were actually supporting kind of the spearhead attack by Drew. So he was able to kind of flank him from the side and actually get off a pretty decent length Fiend script onto what becomes then a very dead Hung Hung, as they're not able to cancel that in time somehow. That leaves Drew just kind of enveloped there on the backlines, and they're able to encircle her, and that ends up going pretty poorly for them. A dieback on the Mirana, a dieback as well onto our Phoenix. We had a few buybacks as well, if I'm not mistaken, here on the side of AG. But for them, it keeps them in the game, so that's perfectly fine. They're okay with those. Tiny did buy back, so it's a dieback onto him, but I think Kunkka just ended up just normally dying. Really long fight there, but that's Spectre for you. I'm surprised the TB buyback went as well as it did, because this is a hero that infamously does not buy back as nicely as other heroes compared to a Spectre, because once he has meta off cooldown, that's kind of a lot he's bringing to the table. But the Sunder usage there, making sure that they're nice and patient to wait for that to be off cooldown, makes killing the Spectre a lot easier.
It was well played there, but even then, because of the Aegis, that gave the upper hand to 496, right? So if it wasn't for the Aegis, that would have been really good for Army Geniuses, but unfortunately, they completely lost that. I think they actually bought back on every single hero. Yeah, no, Axe didn't.
Yeah.
Every other hero doesn't have buyback right now. It was difficult for them to fight that, and I think they fought that as best as they could, right? Ignoring Spectre for the whole team fight.
Yeah.
Terrorblade chunking down whatever 496 was throwing at them. It was well played.
Yeah,
but
pretty
at
much.
the end, the Aegis made a huge difference there towards the end.
They kind of just, they let the Spectre overextend, and then they could not continue to help her, so it was fine. They lost a few heroes to the Spectre, but you recover as well as you can. That was really wise. It was a good team fight control there, but again, no buybacks really available on almost anyone. I'm not really sure why 496 were so keen to jump right back in there and have diebacks on two of their own heroes, to be quite honest. I think that's an unnecessary risk at this point in the game. Lose your Aegis, lose your Spectre, that's all fine and dandy, don't worry about it. But they decide that it's very important at that moment in time to buy back. I'm not sure, because in my opinion, they have this still pretty easily late game. I don't know.
Oh,
We'll see.
Mangdaya, silence, BKB immediately. Another Simway with another Haunt, this time going for the Bane first. But Bane has Ghost Scepter instead of catching Terrorblade. Terrorblade's been destroyed in a matter of seconds. It left him behind. Your team just forgot about your carry there. He was too easy a kill for them. Yeah, you send the OD back, but who cares? You killed the carry. Honestly, even if OD dies, Spectre's still alive. LYM in trouble. He might be the second sacrifice here for the gods that are 496, and Hung still survives. So, I mean, honestly, this is really bad. Terrorblade has no buyback. Might be GG.
Yeah, and we have a creep wave pushing through mid, so even if backdoor comes back momentarily, it's not going to be there permanently. Axe going to do his best to shove this wave up, but once it actually gets past right around here where the tier 2 used to stand, it'll go back active, so they should be able to find themselves here, at least a bottom wave. Yeah, it's totally fine. They will at least go back and retrieve and actually fortify the wave. But it shouldn't matter. I'm not actually sure how that OD got caught out all alone. It looks like they just got him with the Aether Remnants into plenty of damage, unfortunately. We don't really have a save for these guys. At least, you know, your traditional save like an Oracle, like a Dazzle, or anything like that. So he was kind of just left alone, as now Womi is going to be the next casualty. The Blink Dagger forward, followed by the Hex. He does have a buyback. That's the last one actually currently available in the game. So the X mark the spot, pulling back that BB momentarily. We have 50 seconds until the TB is back up. But this team pushes not the fastest. This is not the fastest pushing team in the world. But given 40 seconds, they should find themselves here with at least 2 lanes of barracks. They can't get the Megas because there's still a tier 2 standing, so they will be now forced back. All right.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. I mean, I guess the game is not completely over just yet. RBGs could still potentially come back. That kill on Terrorblade was crucial, but not as crucial as I painted it, so I'm sorry. They're not going to go for the tier 2s and for the last Roshan, or what could be the last Roshan. This Roshan also comes with Axe, which I would love if they give to Spectre, because the single target haunt is great in a game.
Yeah, I could see a use case scenario this game as well for the Phoenix, to be completely honest, for a save. I think everyone else actually nearly having eggs, and the Mirana eggs is pretty weak at this point. But yeah, they are going to go ahead and give that one to Drew. I think that's totally fine, but I think sometimes the Phoenix eggs can be fun. They're going to push in straight away. All the ultis for...
Shadow Step is just so good, dude. Like, I honestly think this axe is kind of overpowered. It's just that it's it's much more of a late game axe, right? So that's why it's not as useful. But it's global, dude. It's a global Shadow Step. At this point in the game, it's amazing.
DD rune active. Hung just jumping in without a BKB. The call actually not in time, nor the Yul's up there. Arrow might catch Womi. That'd be so bad for him, but a nice toss back. Does not get the BKB up, but DabBB now jumping in time. The boat will connect onto him. They actually got the E-Blade on him and the heals as well. There's going to be the haunts as Womi. I might make that UK rather. Going down. Nice job there, saving from Among Daya, but DB back into the fountain. Very low HP. Now turning and trying to stand his ground and fight. Get these attackers out of space. A second Sunder now as he is level 25. Hung trying to get in there, has the hammer and ready to drop. It's not going to do that much damage though, but BKB active. There's not much that the entirety of AG can really do against him at this point. And there is going to be the Supernova Sunray as well, shooting out the laser beam. Cannot get the Sunder off in time, and the GG will be dropped for 9-6 Gaming. They're going to take game number 1. Really fun fights there at the end.
Yeah. What you die there too, DP? Well, there was this like egg thing spitting fire at me. It's a whole story. Anyway, 4-9-6 there. Honestly, really good game. Drew played great Spectre this game, I think, but overall, their draft was cohesive. We did speak about how strong the OD was. Like, if there was going to be a good OD game, it was certainly this one. DabBB played an incredible Void Spirit, and Drew on a signature hero. The Spectre was just phenomenal. Congratulations. Yeah, the team fights seem a bit sloppy, but it's just because 496 was willing to overcommit to these team fights to force out many resources from Army Geniuses. And we noticed this, right? Like, one of the last team fights, the team fight lasted like 6 minutes, honestly, near the bottom lane. And that team fight forced away all of the buybacks for Army Genius except for Axes, and then 496 could just run them down super easily, even if they themselves also wasted the buyback. So it was actually a really good calculated play by 496, even if it did seem clowny. Congratulations to the Vietnamese team, because they deserve finally their first victory in this tournament.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, if we just take a look at the net worth here, that last fight alone, well, plus the Ags with Synth, which does actually add to your net worth, still ended up netting Drew about 2,000 gold when you subtract the Ag's blessing amount. So yeah, he still came out very nicely there after that fight, despite even dying and feeding a bit of gold right back. But yeah, all the buybacks committed there, so 496, they recognize we really only need one good push, one last hurrah. They just run up the high ground with a DD rune, blink forward, which was just madness, but they get the job done there, and they will take their first victory, as you said, in the Monster Energy BT Beyond the Summit 13 online. Do stick around, guys. We'll be back for game number 2, which should be just as exciting here between the two. SeekNStrike and Avo Plus here on the call, as we'll be going to a short break with our draft for game number 2 coming up in just a bit. See you then.